Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Swingers 6 a.m. Swingers Club Kettlebell training with Sensei David Hills. I'm Kendra McLaughlin, and we're here with you this morning, bright and early. The sun is shining here in the beautiful state of Maine, so it's a great morning to be alive. And we're going to be working on the Turkish Getup, which is what we've been working on all day, part 4.
All week, part 4.
I mean, all week.
That's right.
All day. It's early. It's 6 a.m. here.
Very early this morning.
Yeah.
But
I
anyway,
slept great last night.
So yes, part 4, and we've actually already done all the pieces. Today is really just a matter of putting it all together into one sequence. The last thing we did yesterday was an overhead lunge, which is the last piece of the getup. And we should get right to it, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Anybody hopping on yet? I think there's a couple people hopping on.
Yep.
Usually it takes a minute or two for people to get on. But let me talk about this really quickly before we get started as we're waiting for people to come on. One of the things that I realized yesterday I realized that I wasn't doing a lot that I needed to practice was to be mindful in my day, which means trying to stay present in the moment as we live our day. And what this does, so a lot of times our minds are either in the past, thinking about things that have already happened, or in the future, worrying about what things are going to happen. And you're not really living fully in your present day. So it's something to think about and to kind of assess your day today. Are you living in the moment? Are you present? Are you aware, fully aware of your senses, your hearing, your smell, your taste, really taking in your day as it comes along? So something to think about today is being mindful and being present in your day, which is really how we should be living our lives most of the time.
My friend of mine taught me, they said, there's 3 kinds of people. People that live in the past, we call those people depressed. People that live in the future, we call those people living with anxiety. People that live in the present, and we call those people happy. And nothing will put you more present than putting a cannonball over your head,
which is the kettlebell.
Right? So it's a bit of a practice of mindfulness in itself.
Yeah.
It's like when I was in martial art, doing a lot of martial arts, and nothing will bring you closer to the presence like being punched in the face. Well, kettlebell's the same, functions in the same fashion.
You have to stay present in a kettlebell workout to be able to do what you need to be doing. So let's get started. The Turkish Getup part 4. We've already done part 1 through 3 earlier this week.
And let's adjust this camera. Adjust our YouTube camera. Okay. So I'm going to go through the sequence once.
Please do.
Can you
move this out? Yeah.
So the entire sequence you should now have. Condition is you begin with the kettlebell on the ground, midway between your hip and shoulder, over a foot away from you. You're going to under grip. You're going to push and roll towards it. Over grip. Pull it into your chest. Use your body weight to roll back, dropping it on your elbow. And then I'm going to bring it all the way to the center. Going under the handle with my thumb of the other hand so that I can use 2 hands to press it to the ceiling. Now I'm going to lock the elbow, keep a straight wrist and a seated shoulder. The other hand at 45 degrees. Bending the knee, whatever hand the kettlebell's in, that's the knee that's going to be bent. Now I'm going to keep my core fired, keep my shoulders seated, keep my eyes on the kettlebell. I'm going to push into this foot, roll to the shoulder, firing my core, coming to the elbow, pushing into the hand, firing the tricep, coming up to the half getup. And then I'm going to continue on up all the way to a plank position, straight line from kettlebell to the far arm. Bring this leg through, setting it midway between the foot and hand. Step 90 degrees with the other foot. Now, again, keeping my eyes on the kettlebell, I'm going to straighten my body, bringing the hip forward. Now, I'm now in an overhead lunge position where I can rise straight up, pivot, pivot. I end up facing 180 degrees from the way I started. Going back down, same thing. Whatever hand the kettlebell's in, I open that foot by shifting my weight to the back. Shift forward, pivot on the toe. Follow the foot. Drop down, put the knee on the floor. Eyes on the kettlebell, kick the hip back, place the hand. Step 90 degrees, plank position, kicking the leg through. Sit my hip down, elbow down, shoulder down, other shoulder down. Thumb goes underneath, two hands bring it to the center, roll and drop. Bringing it to the other side, I use both hands to drag it around my head. Excellent. We'll give it a try.
Okay. Now, it seems like a big routine, but as we've done this week, we learn it in pieces. And when you learn it in pieces, it doesn't seem like a big deal. I mean, it is a pretty big routine, but
it can be done. Okay. So, kettlebell is placed down. You may. Turning my microphone off.
So,
under grip. Roll towards it, over grip. Pull to your chest and roll using your body weight. Slide the thumb underneath. Two-handed press to the ceiling. Straight wrist, elbow and shoulder. Shoulder being seated. Other hand at 45 degrees. Whatever hand the kettlebell is in, bring the knee up. Keeping your eyes on the bell, press into the leg, roll to the far shoulder, core to the elbow, tricep to the hand, hip pressing to the ceiling, to the plank. Now bring the leg through halfway between the hand and the foot. Step 90 degrees with the other leg. Keep your eye on the kettlebell. Good. Now make sure you're on your toe of your back foot. Good. Now putting your hip over, straighten. Keep your eyes up. Into a overhead lunge position. Now you're going to rise straight up. Turn the back foot on the ball of the foot. Kick your heel around on the back foot so that it points to this, so that your foot points this way, the back leg. Good. And now shift to that leg and pivot on the heel of the other foot. Good. Now see how your hip wide?
Yeah.
That's just because when you stepped around, you stepped out kind of far.
Okay.
So it's not that big a deal, but it makes it a little bit. Okay. So same thing. You're gonna shift away, pivot on the heel, shift forward, pivot on the ball, drop the knee. Kick the hip over, look at the kettlebell, set the hand down. Yes. Step the leg 90 degrees.
This one?
Yep. Push your hip to the sky. Kick the leg through. All the way straight leg. Set the hip down. Down to the elbow. Shoulder, shoulder. Nice. Slide the thumb through of the other hand. Two hands to your chest and roll to your side to set it down. Now use two hands to drag it around your head. Under grip with the other hand. So right here, you actually, you want to bring it down a little bit so that it's a little easier on your elbow.
And sort of on my chest.
Right, right.
And in.
Roll towards you. Slide the thumb on that hand underneath. So you can two-handed press to the ceiling. Good. Straight wrist, elbow, shoulder. Seated shoulder. Good. Same leg bends. Roll towards it, pressing into the leg. And core. Good. Push the hips to the ceiling. And now drag the leg through. The higher you get your hips up, the easier it is to drag the leg through.
This leg here?
Yep, that's right. Halfway, put the knee down and put it halfway between the hand and foot. Step the other leg 90 degrees. Now try to step, yeah, there you go. Secure the back foot. Good. Now straighten, straighten, straighten. Good. Now press to the sky because you're in an overhead lunge position. Lift up straight. Pivot towards me. Oh, no, go back. Turn the heel. Good. And now pivot. Shift the weight towards me and pivot the other foot. Good. Very nice.
Better position.
Much better, yeah. Same thing in reverse now. Shift towards me as you pivot on the heel. No, pivot on the heel.
This heel.
Yep. Good. Now shift forward towards that. Now pivot on the ball of the foot. Drop the knee. Good. Kick the hip over. Eyes to the kettlebell. Place the hand. Step the foot 90 degrees. Your right leg 90 degrees towards the door. Good. No, put the foot down.
I thought this foot goes.
Just step it over 90 degrees like so. Now lift to the sky. Kick the leg through. Now back to the elbow. Shoulder. Shoulder. Nice. Two hands on the kettlebell. Bring it to your center. Roll towards me to set it down. Whew. It is a lot. And the hard part, the confusing piece, is that thing with the legs.
Yeah,
That's
well,
the-
especially when you go to the opposite side, because your brain is already used to doing it on the first side, so getting it.
Yeah, getting your
I
body.
mean, I'm not great with directions in terms of like changing stuff like that, so it is a little bit challenging
Yes.
doing the opposite side.
But it's like anything else. Once you've done it a few times, you'll start to be able to do it without having to think about it.
Yeah, and I think too, I used a really small kettlebell. I know if I practice this a little bit more often, I'll be able to jump up to the next size up.
Yeah.
Although the overhead for me is challenging.
Yeah, these are not easy to do. Once again, it just takes a little bit of practice.
So let's see who we have here this morning. Good morning, everybody. We have here Jody Cato, one of my school classmates. Nikki Packer, so happy to have you here. Tammy, my sister. Julie Poulin. We have Owen.
And Abhishek.
And we have some people on Instagram checking in with us as well. So I'm so happy to have you here this morning for our kettlebell workout. So that was the Turkish Getup Part 4. You can go back and revisit Parts 1 through 3, which we did earlier this week. And it's basically just piecing up that whole move that you just saw me do in pieces, and then you can just do it all together as you go along. So are we ready for our actual workout? So grab your kettlebells. If you don't have a kettlebell yet, point to yourself and say, I need to go get a kettlebell. One or two, a couple different sizes.
Yeah, the best thing, eventually, you'll want 3 kettlebells. One big one, which is your regular kettlebell that you work with, and a pair of smaller ones, usually half the size of the biggest one, of the bigger one. That way you can do a light kettlebell to learn certain exercises, and then you can also use the 2 small kettlebells to do pairs, which is something that we'll do eventually here, but I want to give it some time for people to get their kettlebell. They can be expensive. But not nearly as expensive as a gym membership or, home exercise equipment. These are peanuts in comparison to a whole setup that most people have at home, which are mostly just ridiculous. They end up being clothesline more than anything else.
Well, the thing too is it doesn't go out of style. You get, once you've got your kettlebell, you have it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, pretty hard to break them.
Okay.
All right.
What will we start with today? What size do you think?
Go ahead and start with the large one. We'll start with some warm-ups with 2 hands. Sort of we have sort of a routine that we like to do for warm, or a couple of different routines for the warm-ups, just so that they're familiar. 2 hands of the kettlebell, sit your hips down, seat your shoulders, and bring it up. We're going to orbit around our body 10 times in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 10 other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Bring it to the side. Put the other hand up at your shoulder. Using your hips to swing it up, you're going to hoist it up to the stall position. 2 hands, press it overhead. 1, swing, stall. 2, 3, 4. Change hands. 1, 2, 3, 5. Bring it in to the middle. 2 hands. You're going to hoist it up. Sit back into your hips, press overhead. 1. To the bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it in. Bring it around to the back. Fire your glutes. Push your hips forward. The further you fire your glutes, the more completely you fire them, the more it stretches out psoas. Bring it back to the middle. Set it down.
Even that brings your cardio up.
Yeah, it does. It happens really fast.
Want to make sure you're breathing. Obviously, sometimes I have a tendency to hold my breath sometimes if I'm trying. So I have to remember to breathe throughout the whole workouts. Make sure you're breathing in and
Absolutely.
out properly.
Okay. Are we ready?
I think so.
All right. So we're going to do 5. We're going to use 1 hand. We're going to do 5 swings. Then we're going to do 5 high pulls. Then we're going to do 5 rack and press. Then we're going to do 5 snatches, all with 1 hand. Then we're going to change to the other hand to do it. Ready?
I think so.
I would go down to a smaller weight.
Okay. Thinking that myself.
You'll be able to use that one soon enough.
It's the rocket. It's this thing that.
Yeah, the high
high pull that prevents me from doing it.
Absolutely. Okay, here we go. With 1 hand and 5 swings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 5 high pulls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Racket. and press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it in. Snatching all the way to the top now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it in. Change hands. Swinging it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. High pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rack the kettlebell. Press overhead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, snatching all the way to the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it in. Set it down. Beautiful.
I like that one.
Now, we're going to do a little bit of an exercise without the kettlebell. Whatever hand you had the kettlebell in just last, use the other hand. Press it to the ceiling. Now, I want you to imagine that you're going to do a one-armed pull-up. So you're going to squeeze your hand and put your hand around the back so that you can feel your lat. I want you to fire your lat hard, turn your hand towards you so that your fist is right under your chin, imagining that you're going to do a one-arm pull-up. Now, I want you to keep it fired, swing your arm out, and I want you to imagine pressing your feet into the ground. So instead of the bell going up, you go down. You're not going to move. You're going to imagine this. Press as you sink your feet into the ground. Now, all the way straight. Now, a one-arm pull-up. Pull, pull, pull. Fire your lat. Good. Now do it with the other hand. Press it to the sky. Grip. Now, reach around so you can feel it fire. Now, one-arm pull-up. Fire your lat. Fire your lat. Keep it fired. Press your feet into the floor. Now another one-arm pull-up. Pull, pull, pull. And release. So this is a homework I want you to do because it is going to allow you to feel the firing of your lat. And you can do it with both hands if you like too, right? You need to develop a neural connection to the latissimus dorsi muscle, which is your lat. That's going to make it so that when we do the next sort of steps next week, where we do bent press and high windmill, that'll be our goal for next week. Two rather complicated exercises. We can have a jump on it. Okay. Pick your kettlebell up, 2 hands, grabbing it by the horns. Swing it up in front of your chest. Now we're going to do rotations around the head. This is the halo. The ball is up in the front, down in the back, coming around your head. 1. Grip with your toes. 2. Grip with your stomach. 3. Shoulders are seated.
Wrist is straight.
4. Wrists are straight, precisely. 5. Going to 10. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Other direction. Around. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Set it down. Nice. All right. Pick it up with one hand. Bring it to the rack. Lifting our heels up off the ground. Calf raises. Here we go. Straight up. 1. Feet are pointing straight ahead. 2. 3. Change hands. Another 5. 1. 2. 3. 5. Change hands. Point your feet out 45 degrees. 1. 3. 5. Change hands. 1. 2. 3. 5. Change hands. Stepping backward into a lunge. Feet are pointing straight ahead. Step back with the opposite leg. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Swing and change hands. Stepping back with the opposite leg. 2. 3. 4. 5. Bring it down. Two-handed swings. Here we go, folks. Go to a bigger kettlebell. All right. 50 swings. Here we go. 1, 2, 10. 20. 30. Forward. Last 10. That was quick.
That went pretty quick, the 50, right?
I mean, the whole 15 minutes.
So some advantages of working out: elevates your mood, helps you feel better. You know, there's lots of mornings that I get up that I really don't want to do my workout, but there's never a time. I always push through. I do it anyway, and I've never had a workout that at the end I wasn't happy that I ended up doing it. So if you get up in the morning and you're just not feeling it, now there's a difference between being exhausted or sick, but if you just, you know, I'm not feeling like you just don't want to do your workout, there's no motivation there, just go ahead and do it anyway. You won't regret it. It helps elevate the chemicals in your body. It helps you feel better for, you know, to start your day. You should always be moving your body first thing in the morning to start your day. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. We appreciate your support. We hope that you are getting a lot of information and learning out of our kettlebell workouts. And go ahead and get your kettlebell and get started with us. You won't regret it. Sending you love, peace, joy, and happiness for all of those who need it today in the world. Sending our intentions for a beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Have a great day.
Have a great day, everybody.